Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin.
Welcome.
This is our roundup. Games with gold and the PlayStation Pluses and all the free stuff that you would probably ignore because we used to do that.
We used to ignore it, and then we saw the light, which is that some of these games are good.
Right.
This month had a lot of good games.
Yeah, there was a good chunk of games that we really enjoyed that might not have otherwise played. Because and I was saying before we started recording, out of this list, I would have probably picked up Helldivers, maybe.
Yeah. I would have played Gears again.
Yeah.
That's about it. But diving in here, there was some really cool stuff. And we say this every week, every month. Go just buy them as soon as they come out. Go throw them in your cart. You don't have to download them. Just have them in your cabinet. Yeah, that way you don't forget. Because if you forget, then you'll miss out, and you may go, man, I wish I'd played Styx or Sacred Citadel or whatever. And then you go, man, do I want to pay $25 for it now? No,
Grab
I don't. Grab it for free, and you can play it later.
Lemmings Touch. I don't know how popular the Lemmings games are, but they've been coming out forever.
I think so.
Yeah, since the time that video games began, Lemmings games have been coming out. Shout out to Lemmings Paintball. That was really fun. It's a touch-based Lemmings game. There's two things I wish they would have changed. You can't assign them a job when the game is paused. And I really wish you could do that because the timing can be really tricky and it can mess up an otherwise
Dragon Age style pause, assign, unpause.
Yeah, and then that thing comes into play. But I mean, if you've played a Lemmings game before, and most people have played Lemmings.
I think a lot of people have.
Everybody, right?
Not
you, really? Like you haven't played any of the Lemmings?
I haven't played Lemmings. I haven't played Lemmings, and I haven't played Persona games until this month.
Till just now. Okay, so Lemmings Touch for those of you who haven't played, because apparently you exist. Basically, you have these characters that will drop out of a portal, and you're trying to get them from one end to their little home at the other end, and you're trying to keep them all safe and everything. You can assign them jobs, like you can have one that does mining, and that'll go down at a specific angle, whichever they're facing, and you can have them build, and so you assign them different jobs to get as many as possible from the entrance to the exit.
Okay.
Fairly simple. It's not terribly complicated, but the level design.
I feel like I played something similar to this, but it wasn't Lemmings. But
okay, but yeah, I'd recommend it. Lemmings Touch is a Lemmings game, and so if that's something that you have not experienced before, there's an opportunity to get in there, and there's a lot of levels.
Yeah,
and you know, just as an accountability thing, I only got through the fun games. I did not make it through the tricky. I did not even reach the hard.
Yeah.
But it's going to stay on my Vita, and I'm going to keep playing it because, like, sometimes in the back of your head something can process, and the next time you fire it up,
you figure that out.
And also the sound effects that they make when they just kind of show up and they have this "let's go," and it's really fun. Also, really easy to do, impressions of. That's fun. And then the sounds they make when they die are entertaining too. So even if you fail, it's mildly entertaining.
Good.
So that's Lemmings Touch. I'd recommend it.
Yeah. This month you're going to hear that a lot because I recommend Styx. This has been on my radar repeatedly. Yeah. This was offered for free for PS4 back in last July before we started doing the show, and I got it. I was just like, okay.
Okay. So sell me on it. Why should I play Styx Master of Shadows?
So Styx is a stealth-based game where you play a creature that has been created by the elves, and you are like this goblin-like thing. So the humans have taken over. I can't remember what the tree. It's this giant, this ancient tree that has this sap that contains all thoughts of everyone and all everything. So it's this ridiculous, powerful, like glowing sap. But the humans can't tap into it and use it because every time they've done that, it kills them. But the elves can do it. But the elves,
all the knowledge is terribly dangerous. Look at what happened to what's her name on Angel. That was bad.
Yeah. So every time the humans are occupying this area and they tap into it and it kills them, So Styx has been essentially Styx is your main character, and he's been corrupted by this tree and by all the thoughts and emotions, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna end this now, and essentially you are stealthily going through, because it's a stealth-based game. You're going through all the human stuff. It's very cool. You have it's stealth based, and it's the normal, like, okay, if it's dark then it's better for you to go through. So you got these torches on the walls. It's like, okay, I gotta put out the torch. But if you have sand, you can spit on the sand and throw the sand, and it'll put out the torch.
That's cool.
Yeah. So you got these humans kind of patrolling around as they do. And if a human patrol goes over and sees a body, obviously they're like, oh no, what's going on here? So you have situations where you're like, okay, should I just stealth through everything?
Yeah.
Because you can stealth through everything. Right. Or you can stealth through and kill stuff, but then you make sure you hide the bodies, which I ran into an issue where in the very early on in the game where there's an area where you can stealth through, you can kill everybody. I killed everybody stealthily. No one knew. Because if you were actually...
One at a time.
You have a stealth kill, or you have a straight up, go back and backstab, or you can choke them out. You can get into one-on-one combat, and it's usually not very good. You want to see, you can survive it, but it's not very good.
See,
you have to parry them enough that then you can just start stabbing them.
Stab.
That's pretty much what happens. But I killed a group of people, and I tried to hide their bodies. I didn't hide one of them because I assumed no one's ever going to go back to this thing. This is kind of tutorial-ish. It's shortly after I got my
We'll show you tutorial.
And the next thing that you do, it's like, oh, there's a barrel, you can hide behind it. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll hide behind it. You crouch, you kind of lean towards it, and then both of the people go down the hallway, and I'm like, no! So I went over, and I stealth killed one of them, and before I could get to the next one, he'd already seen the bodies, and then I died. It's really fun, though.
Well, I like that because, like, sometimes I'll go into a game and I'm like, I know how to play video games. I got this. Yeah. This will be fun. And when it subverts those expectations and actually treats it like a real situation, I appreciate that.
It treated it well.
Good game design.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty linear, but it's fun. You have to kind of.
It's like mission by mission.
It's telling a specific story, and I didn't get through a ton of it, but you're kind of flashing back a little bit, so I don't know if I think it's pretty much linear, but your story bits are the ones that kind of jump back and forth.
Okay.
His mind is a little bit off, but as you go through, it's one that I'm going to keep playing because I've really enjoyed it, and it reminds me of Hitman and in Wind Waker when you're having to stealthily go through stuff. It reminds me of that, except you could actually kill the things as opposed to having trouble stealth or die in Wind Waker. But it reminded me of Hitman because you have the whole, okay, I've got a body, should I put it in this cupboard, or should I put it over here, put it on a balcony?
That classic conundrum. Should I put the body in the cupboard? Where
to put the body? I couldn't toss the body over some balconies, which is what I wanted to do. But oh well. It's fun.
So recommend it.
Play it.
And
play
stealthy stuff.
Yeah, and like I said, it was on PS4 last year, so if you picked it up last year, you can grab that there. Mm-hmm. You can play it there.
Yeah. So you can play that instead of Nom Nom Galaxy.
Yeah.
Which I did not care for. It's an 8-bit game, and you're making soup, and you're constructing things, and you're building the soup empire for the Overlord, and there's a lot of kind of over the top. This is on capitalism, which was kind of strange to me.
Yeah. So you play Ferengi, or?
Basically, yeah. But like,
I want a game where I just play Ferengi.
That'd be fun. Profit. And then at the end, as the credits are scrolling, you get all of the rules of acquisition in order and canon.
Yes,
that would be awesome. Bring us that. But yeah, like.
What I do in MMOs anyway.
It played okay until it came to combat.
Yeah.
And combat doesn't work. Like you can kind of set up like a tower defense style thing.
Okay.
But then you have to put all of your resources into that, and then so after that you have to just sit there and wait while your soup goes out, and the other problem I had with it is. You go out and get ingredients, bring them back, and introduce new soup recipes. But your guy only carries one item at a time. So if you had to get like you have to get 2 blue things and a red thing, then you have to go down and get the blue thing, come back,
go get
red
another blue thing,
and just there's a lot of
it doesn't
unnecessary.
Doesn't even stack for your inventory.
No, and it's a lot of unnecessary going back and forth in dangerous areas. And so if you die on the second run, then it's like, okay, well, was this really necessary? Like the game. If you're going to make a simple, fun game with new challenges per level, don't time pad it.
Yeah.
You don't need to make me invested in the character or whatever. I'm just playing a fun game. If your game is just a little fun thing with a fairly simple construct, don't pad it to make it add an hour to the end of it, because that extra hour is not fun, and I don't want to play it.
Yeah, if Minecraft has taught us anything, resource and inventory management are very important, and they're a game in itself almost. So,
and so Nom Nom Galaxy is one of the PS4 ones that I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah.
And spoilers for later in the episode, and this is for you, Justin. Get Helldivers and not Nom Nom Galaxy.
So one that was okay. I mean, it's okay. It's not great out of all of these if you're not going to spend your time. Is Sacred Citadel.
That's the side-scroller beat 'em up.
Yeah, side-scroller beat 'em up. It's decent. It's a decent side-scroller beat 'em up. It's not great in the amount of isometric and side-scroller stuff that we get. It's fun, generic-y story, but decent gameplay. If you want something mindless beat 'em ups. Some of the boss stuff was kind of cool. Kind of reminded me, and this is completely different, but it reminded me of how Super Meat Boy's boss levels are so much different than the regular levels.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, the regular levels is this thing, and then when you get a boss, it's like, okay, here's a unique bit of it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. I wouldn't
actually. We were watching a YouTube video a little while ago, and one of the boss fights in that specifically reminded me of the boss fight where you have to figure out the pattern where he's banging his head.
Reminded me of God of War.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So the boss fights are interesting, but overall the game itself is not particularly impressive.
It's pretty bland.
Okay.
I mean, you can grab it and play it for fun. If you play majority of your games are off the free games, then it's going to entertain you. But it's not as good. If you are a fan of fighting games, if you're good, if you're bad, whatever you are, grab Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, because
also if you're a fan of high school drama, because it's a Persona game, so that's in there.
There's high school drama, and there's if you've played Persona games, you're going to really like it. If you haven't, like I have not. I mean, if you've not played Persona games, you're going to kind of be lost on some of the story.
Oh yeah,
they try to fill you in where they're like, oh, you can't go into the TV world because you're not a Persona user.
Yep.
But if you use this, then
what is going on?
So
that's how you play through your first Persona game anyway. So that's ubiquitous.
Yeah, it tried to catch me up, but it caught me up like well after I was already confused. So
nice.
The gameplay in this is really cool. It's really stylized, very, very cool in regards to the visuals. Really enjoyed that bit of it. If you're not great at them, this isn't as bad as Killer Instinct, but if you're not great at the game, if you're a button masher, you're going to do okay. If you're not, you're going to do okay. It's more balanced on that. You're not going to, so you'll enjoy it that way. Also, if you're not very good at fighters at all, there's a story-only mode. So you can start the story.
Wait. Okay, so it has a mode where
the CPU plays everything for you.
Oh, that's awesome!
So you hit it, you say story only mode, go through the story,
and then you get your popcorn.
You get your popcorn, and you teen drama. So
that is cool.
It is the teen drama anime that you want out of it, and it doesn't have the fighting bit. So if you really like Persona, but you don't like fighter games, but you want more of the story, grab that story mode. Popcorn.
Do you know where it is as far as like the Persona canon?
No idea. I would assume it's shortly after Persona 4, but I have no idea.
The important thing is, does it have Chie?
Yes.
Yay!
So,
Chie!
Go for that.
Best waifu.
And as I'm watching it, some of the stuff kind of confused me because it's they're like, oh, it's Children's Day. Oh man, I forgot to bring so and so. I'm like, is that your girlfriend? Is it? I don't.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because you already have the kind of ambiguity involved with that.
Yeah.
Which cultural bit, however you want to say it. You're
well, see, that's one of the reasons that I really like the Persona 4 series. Is it's willing to. They're willing to commit to the Japanese culture, and nothing's changed for the American audience, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that I'm really looking forward to Persona 5.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for Persona 5.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, cool. I will check this one out then.
Check out Persona 5. It was interesting. Don't get me wrong. But if you're a fan of Persona games, grab it and just go through the story mode if you don't like fighters. If you like fighters, check it out. It's fun.
Speaking of things that you should check out,
yes,
Nova 111 is a game I didn't know I was interested in. It's a turn and tile based scientist rescuing exploration game.
Really?
Yeah, where you're this little guy and you move one tile at a time.
Yeah.
And there's some things that are turn based. Some enemies can only move on their turns.
Okay.
Other enemies, like there's these little leech guys, and when you get into range of them, they'll shoot out this tendril and attach to you, and then in real time drain your life. So like there's one area, and you can't go outside of their range. There are a lot of unique enemies. Like some of them are turn only based. Some of them are like real time stuff. Like you knock out a stalactite. And then it will after a certain amount of time fall. Okay. And so you can use that to like lure enemies in or do different things.
Yeah.
And if you're under them, they fall because these stalactites want to kill you. And if you've ever wanted to play a game where all the stalactites are trying to kill you, this game could be for you.
That's the game.
But yeah, like the mix of turn-based real-time stuff is surprisingly entertaining. And so if you have a Vita, definitely check this one out. The only thing is the secrets. Okay, so there's like a time-based thing, and you can kind of push for a better time, try to get up on the leaderboards, whatever. But there's some colors, like some of the colors of the walls that indicate that there might be a secret there.
Okay.
You can go through them sometimes. So you don't get... So basically, you go through the level, rescue all the scientists, whatever, and then you're like, oh, there's the exit. Now I have to go back through the entire level and bump all the walls to see if I missed a secret. And that's not entertaining because the secrets build up your health. And so the more secrets you find, the better you're doing later. And that, like, if you
secrets should be secrets. They shouldn't be actually like that
obtuse.
Like
I want a secret to be something that I can look for and feel clever when I find this secret.
Exactly.
But if I'm just mindlessly bumping up against every barrier throughout the stage
just to do it,
then that's just a time sink, and I don't feel like, one, I'm not having fun. Two, I'm not feeling clever. And so this is so that was one aspect that I didn't particularly enjoy. But overall, I'm enjoying it. And then as you go through, your ship gains more abilities, more health, more whatever, so you can like zap through some areas, which is another thing that now I have to do, because I have to bump up against the wall and then see if I can project through it.
Yeah.
So except for the way that they did their secrets, and if you want to skip that, then cool, but I can't. I'm not constitutionally capable of going past secrets that I know I could find if I take another 2 minutes per stage.
I'm not getting the Band-Aids in Super Meat Boy, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's right there.
It is. And yes, I beat this level half an hour ago, but I know I can get that Band-Aid.
Exactly.
I know I can get it if I can just nail the triple jump and the Super Meat Boy.
Yeah. So, not Super Meat Boy, though, is Hand of Fate that's on Xbox.
Very different gameplay.
Very different gameplay. So, went into it blind. Yes, went into it blind. Thought it was a card game. It's not really a card game. It's kind of... So
it's a game with cards.
You're playing a game, and it's a game of fate, as the Hand of Fate. And you're playing against... I don't know if it's Death or whoever the heck it is. So he has these cards, and then he shuffles up the cards, and he's like, you have to beat beat all of my champions and such, and he deals cards on the table, and then you then make a choice depending on what the card is. So if it's like, oh, you oh, this is happening, do you go, then it'll give you like a little, it's like, oh, well, there's a shiny sword at the bottom of a ravine.
Okay.
Do you want to go get the sword, or do you leave it?
Okay.
So it gives you choices.
I heard about this one.
Yeah, so it gives you choices. Shops come up, and then you can go back and forth. So if a shop showed up, and then later on in that hand, you went into a battle, you can go back to the shop to do that. But if the shop has not been shown during that hand, then you can't go to a shop readily. You have to either wait for the shop to show up, or so it's almost like you're playing it being led through like as a dungeon master kind of thing, where it's like, now this is showing up, what do you do? And then every now and then you get to actually play,
and as you round the corner,
so and then every now and then you actually get some gameplay. Every now and then you get a very Fable-like kind of gameplay to. I was playing very much a beat 'em up kind of style of it, but it's like these skeletons show up, and then you have to fight the skeletons, or like this boss shows up, and when that happens, then it kind of like zooms you into. Like, it's kind of like, dream kind of sequence kind of thing, where it's like all of a sudden, okay, now you're playing the character, doing the fight, and then you're done with that, and then you get rewards. So it's interesting. It's like it didn't know exactly what it wanted to be. The closest thing I can explain it would be as if you're playing a single. If you've played tabletop RPGs, it's like playing a tabletop RPG where you're the only person playing it. There's not multiplayer. It's like just you, and it's kind of it's kind of like that.
Okay, so if you go back through a level, will the same cards be dealt each time?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I didn't play it again.
Okay.
Because you can't go back.
Oh, it's a story.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all story. I didn't play more than one playthrough. So I don't know if some of the cards may be random. I'm assuming the first hand or two are.
It's teaching you because it needs to introduce the mechanics.
You need the equipment. You need to know how the shop works. You need the choice of some woman bestows you either food or gold or whatever. So So it's interesting.
And it's free.
It's free. It's interesting. If you wanted something, if that sounds kind of cool to you, grab it. It's very much like you're playing playing a tabletop Dungeons and Dragons thing, but it's one person playing it.
And your DM is death.
And apparently. Your DM is basically death. So you have to beat all of the things, death or fate or whoever it is. You beat all of his things, and you do the things. But I enjoyed it for the most part. It's not a game where you jump in and go have fun for a while. It's a every now and then you actually get some action gameplay. The rest of it is more choice based. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting take on this stuff. Another game that we had, which is completely different than that, was Grid Autosport.
Yay, another grid game.
More grid games. Okay. This was the best of them.
Oh, really? Okay, tell me.
This one was more of a Forza kind of style, at least when I played of it. Like it's more. There's a career mode. The gameplay of it to me is more on the realistic and actually closer to a sim. Still not Forza, but I like this one better.
Few games are though. Forza has nailed it.
Forza
seriously
perfect.
Forza and Gran Turismo are like the top tier of their stuff. Yeah.
This was the better out of the grid games that we played. I don't know how. Why do we have all grid games every single month? There had to be something going on.
I don't know.
Something's going on.
Brief aside.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the Drive Club patch?
No.
Okay. Apparently, Drive Club has a new mode that's super realistic physics. So they took it and made it even more realistic, but it's killing people because anybody that wants to play that cannot come anywhere close to their times before because with realistic physics you can't just.
Nope. It's why Forza is so difficult. Yeah. I mean, if you're really wanting to be, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be realistic. Yeah. So out of the driving games, if you like driving games, grab Autosport. This is the best of the grid games that we've done so far. Okay. So check it out.
Yeah.
If you have fun.
Okay, so this is kind of my recommendation of the month, especially as far as PlayStation goes. Helldivers: Democracy Strikes Back. Mm-hmm. So basically, this is a twin stick shooter with multiplayer and story and trying to kill all the bugs and commentary on the whole. Okay, so like the opening video is like, "Welcome to Super Earth. Go fight for democracy. Clear out anybody that doesn't like liberty. Anybody that is against us is against freedom and liberty." And like
it's the tongue-in-cheek, like Starship Troopers kind of like.
Exactly.
Oh,
yes.
Great.
This is Starship Troopers, the game.
Okay.
And the first enemies you fight are giant bugs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so and the way that they've done multiplayer in this really makes me wish I had a connection on the road.
Yeah.
Because I'm playing a bunch of missions and unlocking stuff, but like the way that multiplayer is done is you have the three different. Okay, you have the bugs, you have the cyborgs, and you have the Illuminate guys. I don't know what they are. I just know that they're scary as crap and they kill me most of the time. But those are the three difficulties basically in that order.
Yeah.
And so you go in and you have like 3 or 4 stratagems, which you can call in a thing that like widens your radar, or you can call down a mech, or you can call down additional supplies, or you can throw up a distraction beacon and be like, "Hey, enemies, run over there," and then take off the other way. And so like there's a lot of really good strategy to it, and it doesn't necessarily encourage you to fight everything you encounter, because your experience is not gained from kills, but from objectives and how well you did on those objectives. So like it encourages you to sneak around and activate the SAM site or whatever.
Yeah.
And multiplayer is drop in, drop out. Well, drop in, I guess, because I never saw anybody drop out. But you can. And okay, so the one of the more entertaining things of it is everything that you do, all the ammo and stuff that I mentioned before, is sent to you via supply drop.
Yeah.
You can be squished and killed by your own supply drop, which might come up 15-20 seconds after you asked for it.
That's kind of funny.
And so, you can be like, okay, I need a turret here because I need to defend this place.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I'm going to start activating the surface-to-air missile site to get the objective. And then there's bugs everywhere and you're having to fight and kill everything. And then, like, you hear this, whoom, and you're like, crap, am I under? Splat. And it's yes, this game is highly recommended.
Yeah.
And the multiplayer is also really entertaining because when you play and win, then that goes toward the overall community credits, basically.
That's cool.
And so
like region based or for community?
No, like everybody.
Okay.
Everybody is working
cool.
like right now, this will be outdated, but right now we're working on destroying the bug homeworld. And so I can do the very easy and I can get 2 points. I can do the easy and get 3, medium and get 4.
Yeah.
And I can contribute whatever I can, but if I go too high, like out of my skill level, and then I die, that detracts from the overall, and so we can lose the field.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. And it's superbly designed game, and I had heard a bunch of people talk about it, but I hadn't really, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So just pick it up and try it out, because after you've played it for, I don't know, half an hour, you'll know for sure if you're going to like it or not. Controls on the Vita are really confusing at first, but then I got the hang of it, and I can, like now one of the main things I do is you have to get extracted at the end. You call in a shuttle, which means that almost all of the enemies are going to be headed your direction, and you have to hold out for 1.5 minutes while it comes in.
That's cool.
So what I do is I call down the shuttle, I throw up 2 turrets on each end of where the shuttle's going to land, so that it squishes the turrets at the end and I don't get killed by them, because they can't distinguish between... They can distinguish between friendly and non-friendly, but they don't care. They're shooting at bad guys, and they don't care if you get in their way. Okay. Which is really dangerous when it comes to multiplayer, because you can absolutely shoot your own buddies, and how do you help? How do you... And okay, if I shoot that guy, am I really helping, or is that just something he needs to take care of? And it's some of the most frantic, like chaotic, and you don't really get mad because it's hard to not shoot your own teammates. And so, like, as far as my experience, I haven't seen anybody like get mad. I haven't had anybody swear at me the entire time I've been playing this.
Wow.
And so the community is excellent.
That says a lot about when it comes to online gameplay. That says a lot.
And I think it's the kind of game that only appeals to people who are willing to put the time in. Yeah. And the best 2 guides, I think I linked this on the Twitter account. I'll put it up again the day that this goes out. Mm-hmm. But the best guide for how to get started and then advanced techniques are all written in character.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like a 4-page post of the best stratagems.
That's really cool.
And it's all written it's all written as a Helldiver.
That's cool.
So yeah, recommended. Pick that up and play it, and I will play it with you. Twin_Pi on PSN. Check it out.
Exactly. Another thing you should be checking out is Gears of War 2.
Yes.
And you got to play Gears of War. This is your first time playing a Gears franchise.
I had never played a Gears of War game at all. I was aware of it, and like within a couple of minutes, because I didn't beat the game, but I did watch the entire 2-hour story on YouTube. Recommended.
Yeah.
So even if you're not going to play it, go watch that. But like I was watching that, and I sent you a text like 10-15 minutes in. I was like, this is the most dude broest of dude bro shooters ever to have dude broed.
It really
and
is.
that was what turned me off initially. Is like, I don't want to play this. Nah.
It is, especially when you have X what is it called, swashball or whatever. It's not football. You know what I'm talking about? He's the football player guy that's in there. He's in the second one, isn't he? He's in the first one.
I didn't.
Yeah, I think he's in the first one.
Any football?
I think he's in the first one. Cole Train.
Okay.
Is Cole on there?
Maybe.
I'm getting 1 and 2 mixed up here. So it is, because the first one of the guys on there is Cole, and they call him the Cole Train, and he was previously part of this universe's football kind of thing. It's a swashball or something. So it's very, very very bro stuff.
And it was also really fun because I played it with Kyle, and we went through it, and he'd gone through it before. Yeah. And it was really fun because we're sitting there looking, and like, this is not how human anatomy works. This is not how physics works. Like these guys
are drawn by Rob Liefeld. Their anatomy is just ridiculous. Everyone has shoulders on their shoulders. And everyone is built like that. Yeah. Everyone is built like Lou Ferrigno in this. Yeah.
And at one point, I beat the hospital thing, and then the guy was talking about they are after our liberty. Liberty seems to be a big thing. But so he starts talking about liberty and survival and all this stuff, and I went to the bathroom, came back, and he's still talking about it. I was like, okay, you have a decent story, but like sometimes it goes a bit far. But the fun thing for me was like every time I encountered a new enemy, and you're gonna have to bleep this, but every time a new enemy comes on the screen, I'm like, oh, holy shit! Yeah, it's coming right for us.
Yes,
because all the enemies are as much as the character's anatomy is big and overplayed. And I'm okay. I might be the last person to play Gears, but yeah, Gears 2 was a lot of fun. I like the story. I like the we're the last possible ones who can save the people of the planet. Of
the last city.
It's the
Jacinto's the last city. Yeah, it's like
it embraces that, and because like there are, and this my own opinion, first person shooters, a lot of the big ones are dude bros that don't necessarily. Like they're not self-aware.
Yes.
This one is.
Yes.
It knows what it is. It embraces that, and still manages to pull in an emotional tug because not everybody's going to make it out, and so their sense of humor is by necessity just black and And there's one part where a guy like busts out and like starts killing people, and he goes, nobody plays this game like me. Nobody. And then he chainsaws through a stone wall and comes and joins your squad.
Yep.
And I also really appreciated it because I'm not good at the shooters, but I had 4 other dude bros shooting stuff for me, and so I didn't necessarily have to kill everything.
They actually do handle themselves pretty well. Yeah,
and that was cool because like when you're playing the Lego games, like I'm surrounded by X-Men, and they're just standing around getting beat up on until I come over and knock your guy out.
Yeah,
and is
if you play multiplayer, like I guess you did the couch multiplayer on that. So as you play couch multiplayer, you play more members of the squad that you're with. So it still works. It doesn't take you out of the game where you're like, okay, now I'm playing single player versus multiplayer. It's really cool.
And I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
recommended.
Definitely recommended. You can that one's free. And just to plug it, if you wanted to play the first one, the Gears of War Ultimate Edition is on Xbox One, so you can pick that up. If you want to play the first one and play a remastered version of it, you can pick up. If you have a 360, you can pick it up for $15 at the regular version, or you can pick up the remaster for $60 or whatever.
And the series is backwards compatible. So if you have an Xbox One and you want to go back and buy the old ones and bump them up, then you can do that too. So that was fun, and now I'm actually kind of wanting to play the other ones. So they have succeeded by giving me one of the games in its series. I'm now interested in this series. So
it's good.
Well done.
Intro on that too.
Well played.
Yeah. Great month. So let us know what you thought about this month and the Games with Gold and PlayStation Plus offerings.
Yeah.
And tell us if you didn't like one of these games that we liked, or if you liked one that we didn't.
Yeah. And for those that are multiplayer, mostly Helldivers, shoot us a message, sign up, and you and I will defend liberty.
Yes. Freedom.
America. Democracy.
Later.
Money. I love colons.
Oh my.